Hey, good morning and welcome to Morning Adrenaline. Today is Friday, January 9th, 2026. If you haven't already, it is time to wake up the warrior because today is Action Day, the final day of our High Value Human series. We've been day one, Monday. We talked about what a high value human actually is. We talked about the 8 irrefutable traits as well as the identity it takes to become a high value human. On day two, we talked about the benefits across your 4 stories that you're writing of your life. Day three, we talked about the cost of staying low value, drifting, settling, leaking potential, but the cost it also takes to become a high value human. Day four, we talked about faith, responsibility, stewardship of time, talent, and treasure. And here's the thing, none of these actually stand alone. They stack. So today is about execution, how to actually become the high value human you're meant to be. So let's start here. Being a high value human is not an idea and definitely not just simple motivation. It's a lifestyle. And to live and walk in that lifestyle, you must build a high value human identity and live by the concepts, the values, and the principles. This week was not random. Each day was intentional. Each day built on the last. So before I give you the promised deliverables for today, I want to reframe this one more time because this is where most people miss it. When I work with companies and corporations, one of the first things we identify is why productivity is lacking. And almost every time the problem, like 94% of the time, is not the inside office, it's outside of it. And I call this the performance leak effect. People carry stress from home, declining health, mental clutter, lack of purpose, broken confidence, and they carry that into the workplace. And then internal chaos leaks directly into performance at the office. This is true for people in companies, and it's true for you and I. If one area of your life is out of alignment, it will eventually leak into and break the others. That's why we've been talking about the 4 stories you're writing in your life. Remember, we talked about business, career, finance, relationships and communication, health and fitness, and faith and purpose. If your faith is off, other areas may be off. If you're struggling with your fitness, you may also struggle or carry that into the workplace or carry it into your relationships. So you don't get to compartmentalize forever. The bad always leaks into the good. See, alignment isn't optional to be high value, it's required. So here's why a roadmap is required. Execution doesn't actually start with motivation, it starts with direction. That's why today is not about hype. It's a structure. It's your foundation. It's your rock that I just happen to call a roadmap. So today I promised 3 deliverables. Let me introduce you to the first. The first is the high value human roadmap. Now, there is no mental reprogramming roadmap more powerful because this one encompasses every story of your life and every trait required to dominate them. So let's jump right in. Step 1 of your roadmap is to identify what's holding you back. Before anything changes, we identify the leaks. Now, it might be worth going back and reviewing the videos or your notes from day 1 or day 4 and find some of your challenges that you identified there. But really, the next deliverable, I promise, should do the work for you. This is where we introduce the free PDF to you, okay? And the free PDF, basically, it does exactly that. Now, by the way, just so I don't forget, make sure that you email me to get the PDF because I can't attach it to this live. And so, or obviously to the podcast. So the free PDF, what you need to do is you need to email me at support@sisuvita.com to receive it. Again, email me support@sisuvita.com and my team will send that to you. The purpose of the PDF is simple: to identify mental and emotional challenges in each and every area of your life that are preventing you from living as a high-value human. You can't eliminate what you haven't identified. So we have to identify the challenges before we can dive in and do the work. Now, before we go any further, with the roadmap, let me introduce you to deliverable number 3. So we have the roadmap is 1, the PDF is 2. I'm going to quickly just briefly give you what deliverable number 3 is going to be, and we'll talk more about it later. Because you can't complete the roadmap without the right mechanism. So here's where the Sisu Vita membership platform comes in. Sisu Vita is not coaching, it's not motivation, and it's not mindset hype. Sisu Vita is a subconscious identity rewiring system designed to create permanent transformation, not by forcing behavior, but by changing the programming that drives behavior. So here's why it's different. It works below conscious effort. In other words, it rewires subconscious programming. It removes internal resistance at the root. It installs new identity patterns, and the results are most often permanent. But here's the kicker is action. The things that you need to do become automatic, not forced. So in short, basically what you do is you stop fighting yourself. Now, here's the great thing is you get unlimited access to mind-shifting sessions, which I'm going to talk about here and over the next several minutes. Over 50 step-by-step roadmaps. It's a series of roadmaps to overcome almost any mental challenge that you're facing. Inside of the membership platform, you're going to get video tutorials to guide you through the process and to do other things, motivational stuff, gritty stuff, motivated discipline. You're going to have Q&A opportunities for support and clarity inside the group, and a lot more. We're adding more as we go. So these roadmaps, going back to the roadmaps, they're designed to clear challenges like depression, anxiety, lack of confidence, procrastination, low energy, and that's just 5 out of like 50 and growing roadmaps that we've created. If you can think of it, we're either already addressing it or we'll add it, okay? It's that important that we have a roadmap for you for any challenge that you're facing. Beyond clearing problems, Sisu Vita allows you to build powerful life identities, which include the high-value human identity that we've been talking about, or that of an elite performer, maybe somebody like a MVE, what I call most valuable employee, which, by the way, are people that are very prone to get promoted into leadership roles and get pay increases. An elite sales closer would be a good one for under elite performer. How about the confident leader identity or a focused, disciplined, high execution identity? The platform is required for what comes next because execution without proper rewiring always breaks. So before we move on, just know this. For this group only, I'm offering special pricing on unlimited access, less than the cost of a gym membership. So I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Do you have to do it? No. Can you really rewire your identity without it? Show me another way. So step 1 was identify. Step 2 is what we call problem shifting. It's a method that we call problem shifting. I told you there's mind shifting methods inside the membership site. There's 6 different methods. The first one is called problem shifting. So now we return to the roadmap. Step 2 is about eliminating challenges that show up daily or almost daily. It's the mental clutter that slowly drains your energy, your focus, and often your execution. So some examples of daily clutter that you might be facing could be low energy, procrastination, lack of motivation, lack of focus, overwhelm, mental clutter, anything that is cluttering your mind that you find, you wake up and the first thing on your mind is mental clutter. Make a note of that. These aren't deep identity issues yet. They're recurring mental noise. It's the kind that keeps you busy but not effective. So this is where the problem shifting comes in, and it's designed to clear recurring issues at the subconscious level. That's really important. We're not putting a Band-Aid on it. We're clearing recurring issues at the subconscious level. It's designed to remove the internal friction that keeps them looping and eliminate problems without willpower or force. So in many cases, a problem shifting session takes about 15 minutes, and some challenges can be cleared in as little as 15 minutes. Once the mind is clear, execution changes immediately. This is also why problem shifting becomes one of the most used tools for maintenance after you complete the roadmap. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But when something pops up, you don't wrestle with it. You don't push through it. You just go into the membership site and you clear it in 15 minutes through a problem shifting session. So ask yourself this: what would your life look like if these issues simply stopped showing up, not managed, not motivated away with temporary motivation, but completely gone? Now, step three is step three, not every problem clears at the surface. Some challenges show up as daily noise and are cleared quickly with problem shifting. But when a challenge keeps coming back, when you clear it, you feel better, and then notice that the same pattern returns. Or maybe you can't clear it at all using problem shifting. That's your signal. So this is the next step. Some issues don't show up as problems anymore. They show up as patterns. So here's some examples of that. Things like chronic procrastination, self-sabotage, fear of success, avoidance, inconsistency, starting strong and fading out, or even addiction. You don't choose these patterns consciously. You're running below, the patterns themselves are running below awareness. That's because these aren't problems anymore, they're blockages. So this is where blockage shifting comes in. Blockage shifting is designed to identify subconscious resistance, remove internal conflict, dissolve the invisible wall that keeps pulling you back, stop the cycle at the root. So this is not, guys, I want you to understand, this is not mindset work. It's not positive affirmations in the morning and positive thinking. It's a deeper subconscious experience used only when problem shifting isn't enough. So this is why some people know what to do, but still can't do it consistently. The issue isn't discipline, it's resistance. It's your internal resistance. So once the blockage is cleared, action no longer feels heavy. Momentum becomes natural. Step 4 of your roadmap to become a high-value human is, well, before we talk about trauma, which we're getting into, step 4 is trauma shifting. Before we talk about trauma, it's important to understand why this isn't first on the roadmap. See, we always clear daily challenges first. Why? Because trauma work is deeper, more time intensive, and requires a clearer, more stable mind to work effectively. Trauma shifting is not the first tool you use. It's the right tool when it's needed. Now, here's the bad news. We can't make you forget that the event happened. But the good news is we can help you minimize its emotional charge so it no longer defines you, controls you, or runs your life. Trauma isn't about memory, it's emotional imprint. And emotional imprints can be cleared. So there's kind of two types of traumas if you break it down. I like to call them the first one micro traumas. These are moments that may seem small, but leave a mark. They leave an imprint on you. Some examples could be a boyfriend or girlfriend dumping you and saying things that cut deep, being embarrassed publicly, repeated criticism, rejection, moments where you felt unwanted, unsafe, or just simply not enough. Now, a lot of people don't call these traumatic, so we don't think of them as traumas, but your subconscious records them anyway. I call them micro traumas. The second is macro traumas, and these are larger, more obvious events like being abused as a child, abandonment, violence, severe neglect, major loss. It's a different scale, but similar emotional impact. Now, both micro and macro trauma can silently program fear, avoidance, self-doubt, people-pleasing, overcompensation, emotional shutdown. And if it's stored, it's influencing your behavior, whether you remember it or not. So Here's why trauma shifting matters. It doesn't show up as a trauma itself doesn't show up as a memory. It shows up as a reaction, an emotional charge, patterns you can't explain, decisions that don't match your logic. And this is why some people say, I don't know why I do this. I just do. That's trauma running in the background. This is where trauma shifting comes in. It's designed to locate stored emotional programming, neutralize the emotional charge, remove its influencer in terms of your present day decisions. This isn't about reliving the past. It's about analyzing it. We're clearing it so it no longer drives your behavior. Once trauma is cleared, reactions calm, confidence stabilizes, emotional control increases, and patterns finally break. Step 5. Once the daily clutter and emotional charges are removed, what's left is the story. Beliefs aren't opinions, they're conclusions. They're formed when the mind tries to make sense of experiences, especially emotional ones. So that's why belief work comes after trauma work. If you change the belief without clearing the emotion, the belief eventually comes back. So beliefs are not thoughts you choose. They're programs that decide what you attempt, what you avoid, what feels possible, what feels dangerous. And here's how it shows up. Some examples are, I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I'm bad with money. I can't stay disciplined. Success isn't for people like me. These beliefs don't argue with you. They direct you. They direct your actions. They direct who you think you are. They direct your identity. They act like filters. They determine what you notice, what you ignore, how you interpret events, how you respond under pressure. So this is why two people can experience the same situation and walk away with completely different outcomes. Belief shifting isn't designed to locate limiting belief programs. I said that incorrectly. Belief shifting is designed to locate limiting, did I say isn't? Belief shifting is designed to locate limiting belief programs. It's designed to dissolve their authority, install beliefs that support the person you want to become. So we don't argue with beliefs. We don't think positive. We have to replace the operating system. Once the beliefs change, confidence increases, risk tolerance expands, discipline stabilizes, and execution accelerates. And the end result of that is when beliefs are aligned, action feels natural, fear loses its influence, and consistency stops being forced. You don't have to convince yourself anymore. Your mind is finally on your side. It's running with you. Step 6, now we install the power identity. We've been talking about identity all week long. Now we finally install it. Up to this point, everything we've done has been clearing space. We removed the daily noise. We eliminated resistance. We neutralized trauma. We dismantled limiting beliefs. Now we stop removing problems and start installing your power. Because you don't become high value by fixing your behavior. It's not an action. You become high value by changing who you are being. And the mechanism for that is identity shifting. Now, here's what identity shifting really means. Identity is not who you want to be someday. Identity is who you default to under pressure. It determines how you show up, what you tolerate, what you pursue, what you walk away from. And this is why identity always beats motivation. Motivation tries for a minute, identity executes all the time. So this is why we had to clear the mind first. It's almost impossible to install a power identity on top of clutter. You don't overwrite old programming without first deleting what's corrupt. That's why identity shifting comes after problem shifting, blockage shifting, trauma shifting, and belief shifting. Once the internal noise is gone, your mind becomes programmable again in a good way. And that's when real change sticks. So how do you install a power identity? The answer, of course, is identity shifting. Identity shifting works at the subconscious level in the part of the mind that runs behavior automatically. This isn't pretending. It's not affirmations. It's not acting confident. And it's not pretending to be somebody else. Have you heard some of the other quote unquote gurus talk about pretending to be somebody else? That is not what identity shifting is. This is rewiring default behavior to restore your identity to the autonomous God-given identity you were born with. So what can you build here? With identity shifting, you can install identities like high value human, which we've talked about all week now, being the elite sales closer that we just mentioned, being a confident leader, being a focused, disciplined individual, being a strong father or mother. The list goes on and on and on. It's really honestly unlimited. Who do you want to be? Be it, because you were born at birth with an autonomous mind that gave you a blank slate to do anything that you want to do. And along the way, you were programmed to do the opposite. And now it's time to regain your authority, your power, your autonomy, your identity. But here's the key. If you take the time to build a high-value human identity, everything else improves automatically. Your business, your career, your money, your finances, your relationships, your health and fitness, your faith, your purpose, your spirituality, all improves. See, high value doesn't turn on and off. It becomes who you are. And this is where life starts to feel different. Once your identity shifts, habits lock in. Your consistency stabilizes. Your self-respect increases. Your execution becomes inevitable. People don't say, I'm going to try harder. They say, something changed. That's identity alignment. Step 7 on your roadmap. Now we move into reality shifting, or what I like to call the goal crusher. And this part gets me excited. I absolutely love this as the closer. Let me explain why everything else came first. Reality shifting is not about dreaming. It's not about visualization, and it's not goal setting. It's goal execution certainty. Let me say that again. It's goal execution certainty. There's a big difference between setting a goal and being absolutely certain you're going to achieve it. And here's the key. Reality shifting only works this powerfully when the mind is clear. So if your mind is distracted, undisciplined, emotional, or cluttered, even the best goals are going to collapse on you. But when your mind is clear, when resistance is gone, when identity is aligned, crushing goals becomes almost unavoidable. Unavoidable. So this is why reality shifting is last. Most systems start with goals, AKA the action level, do. The problem is that the identity isn't strong enough to support action until the roadmap process is completed. So finish with goals. Goals don't fail. People fail under the weight of unaligned identity and mental clutter. Once the garbage is gone, once discipline is installed, once confidence is automatic, goals stop feeling heavy. They feel obvious. And that's when reality shifting works at the highest level. So what reality shifting actually does, or what I like to call the goal crusher, is designed to eliminate doubt, collapse hesitation, remove internal negotiation, install absolute certainty. See, you don't leave a reality shifting session hoping the goal happens. You leave knowing that it will. There's no mental wiggle room. There's no fallback story. There's no self-sabotage when you leave a reality shifting session or a goal crusher. So let's talk about how different people approach goals. Low value humans set goals emotionally. They rely on motivation, temporary emotion. Do not ever do that. They quit when friction shows up. And high value humans operate from identity. They execute with discipline. They finish what they commit to. See, reality shifting installs the execution certainty at the subconscious level. So here's how people use this in real life. Some of our members use reality shifting daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, but they use it daily. Remember I said that you have unlimited access? Daily reality shifting, if you reality shift every day with unlimited access, your daily goals turn into weekly wins. Your weekly wins turn into monthly domination, and your monthly domination turns into annual breakthroughs. This is how momentum compounds. Now, here's the truth that most people miss. If you take an unfocused mind, an undisciplined identity, emotional inconsistency, and try to chase goals, you burn out. But if you take a clear mind, a disciplined identity, aligned purpose, and give it a target, execution becomes automatic. Now here's step 8 on your roadmap. Now you coast into maintenance. And by the time you reach this stage, the hard work is done. The mind is clear, the identity is installed, execution is working, and now you don't grind, you maintain. Because high value is stable when you protect it. Now this is where most people, not you, get it wrong. Most people think growth means constant effort. It doesn't. Once identity is aligned and resistance is removed, you don't push harder, you coast at altitude. You don't grind forever, you cruise with control. Maintenance isn't daily lifting, it's response as needed. Something pops up. You handle it immediately. No spiral, no buildup, no regression. That's the advantage of access. The most used tool at this stage is problem shifting to clear daily mental clutter and reality shifting. I said it, some people use it daily. These become your go-to tools, but here's the key. You always have access to everything. So because you never know when a blockage resurfaces, an old belief tries to creep back, a past trauma gets triggered, maintenance isn't panic, it's being prepared, it's preparedness. So this is where most systems fail. They help people, they help people change, but not stay changed. You don't lose high value overnight, you lose it by neglect. Maintenance prevents that. High value stops being something you chase and becomes something that you operate from. So listen, the final deliverable I promised is the platform or engine that makes this all run. So let me talk straight to you for a minute. Everything you've heard this week only works if you use the right system and have the right system behind it. That system is the CISO Vita membership platform. The retail price when you go to the website direct for 1 year, unlimited access is $1,197 per year, which is a bargain, by the way. Today, for this group only, I'm opening a full year of unlimited access for $200. Guys, that's the cost of one mind-shifting session if you sat across from a person in real life. Thing is, you can do this, me and you can do this from you when you're in Europe. So it's not a discount, it's an invitation. And I'm launching, and the reason I'm doing that, one of the reasons I'm doing that is I'm launching my membership platform 2.0, which is a brand new upgraded platform. This is grandfathered pricing for life, by the way. It's unlimited access to the exact tools you just heard, less than the cost of a gym membership with results that compound for years. Look, I'm not going to hard close you. This is a no-brainer, but once I shut off the coupon code, the offer's dead. So listen, you've been given clarity, structure, a proven roadmap, and the tools to execute. What's left isn't information anymore, it's a decision. High value isn't something you admire, it's something you live. And lifestyles aren't built with motivation, they're built with identity. So the real question is simple. Are you ready to live as the high value human you already know you're capable of becoming? Listen, guys, go out today, get stuff done. I'll see you next